Madam Web is a 2024 comic book movie from Sony that is as bad as you've heard and frankly does not deserve the production value I am putting into this review. Our story concerns Cassie, played by Dakota Johnson, who in 2003 is a paramedic. She drives the truck, she pumps on the hearts, she saves the lives, what a hero. Operating in New York City and seemingly completely unaware of Spider-Man, this movie is actually, now that it's a flop, considered to be standalone. An accident occurs, Cassie goes into some water, gets revived, but now she seems to have some kind of memory lapse issue. Events play forward and back, she has deja vu. Of course, there's a logical explanation behind this. Back in 1973, Cassie's mom, pregnant with her, was shot in the stomach by a guy whose lines are constantly being redubbed. Rescued by Spider-Man of the Amazon, and a spider's venom seems to have given Cassie these powers. Not a radioactive spider, she doesn't have the super strength, she doesn't develop webbing, none of that cool stuff. Mr. Redubbed Lines has a habit of walking around the city without shoes on, in a way that makes it seem as though wardrobe forgot to supply him with shoes. I guess this is supposed to be because he has the good spider traits, he can climb on the walls, though he does that in a Spider-Man suit. In heart, and I don't understand why this is happening with so many recent films, it's a ripoff of the Terminator. What's with that? Madam Web is as if somebody said, I want to make a Terminator film with the Spider-Man license. So we'll have an evil Spider-Man be the Terminator, and oh, this girl who, she's not from the future, but she can see the future. Look, there's a photo of her mom. Oh, hey, there's girls she has to rescue. They're so important. Oh, and yeah, this guy, he's gonna like slowly rise out of the fire. The girls she has to watch over, I actually liked this trio. You got Lucky from the new Ghostbusters stuff. Isabel Merced, used to be Moner. Was that it? Maybe she just thought that name sounded derogatory, so she's Merced now. I've liked her and stuff. And the other girl, oh yeah, weird that the biggest slut of our time is playing the nice girl. Mr. Redub is after them only because he has visions of them killing him someday. So by going after the group and Cassie being involved, he's kind of made that a self-fulfilling prophecy, of course. Madam Web is bizarrely incompetent. It's directed by some guy whose name I'm not going to look up, and it very well may be written by AI. There were rumors, and I think they're true. One scene in particular, when Cassie has these visions of the girls on the subway getting attacked, she tells them to get off and they get into a different train. There's a guy seated there who turns to Cassie and says, am I on the right train? She's like, I don't know.
Hey, am I on the right train?
I don't know, man.
Who talks like an NPC like that? Only AI would think that scene, that dialogue needs to happen. This movie's also shockingly unfun. As I'm watching, I'm going, what's the hook here? What's the sell point? What's putting butts in seats? Obscure Spider-Man license thing that Sony can get away with? Sydney Sweeney covering up the entire film? I'm not sure. And Dakota Johnson is checked out. She does not care. As soon as she's introduced.
How you doing back there?
You know, last time I was in a vehicle driven like this, I was being shot at.
I wouldn't want you to be homesick for the army.
You have no inclination that she is driving frantically in an EMS. She has no business acting. I haven't seen her in anything else really. I mean, you know of her, you know she's in bad things, but wow. She seems to have no zeal. She doesn't get scared. She doesn't do anything. She shows up and she says the lines before lunch break. Real shame too, because her dad, Crockett from Miami Vice, also a fellow Jayhawk. You guys okay with me spoiling this? What's left of it? Sure. So Redub is after these girls and he's using technology that is beyond 2003. A lot of facial recognition stuff that I think would make today's CIA analysts blush. And it's weird, like, we also have a lot of nepotism babies in here. He's got a nepotism baby working the computer for him. Just one woman doing all this stuff. What is she, Chloe from 24? Oh yeah, imagine all the amazing stuff he could have done pre-Facebook. But instead he's fixated on killing 3 girls who might kill him someday. Well, how about in your vision you just don't live in that apartment? Fireworks explosion at a Pepsi distribution center, and well, Cassie ends up blinded and paralyzed. But she tries to look cool about it, and the girls, they're going to stay with her because conveniently enough, their dads aren't there. And speaking of dads not being there, we never hear anything about Cassie's dad. Oh, so your mom is pregnant and in the rainforest, and she's looking for the spider stuff because, hey, maybe it'll fix the autoimmune disease my daughter may be diagnosed with. Where's dad? There's no mention of this. I almost expected Redub to say, I'm your father. Not actually a sequel bait ending. A sort of, hey, we came together and now we're a family and this looks like something you saw in the CW. But nothing after the credits to say, hey, we're trying to tie this into something bigger. I guess they learned their lesson from Morpheus. Now I have to wonder, is Madam Web possibly worse than Morpheus? Jesus, pick your venom. I give Madam Web 1 out of 4 stars.
If you appreciate a YouTube channel that doesn't just pad out content to get to the 8-minute mark so that it can hammer you with ad breaks, then you should subscribe to my son's channel. You just got done watching it.